Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Taurus April 2023 Illumination reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance. So, hi, everyone, and welcome. Today's reading is going to be taking a look at the general themes and energy for the month of April for the sign of Taurus. Now, this can be your sun, your moon, or your rising. And I also like to take a look at Venus and Mercury as well, because those are really important aspects in our chart as to how we communicate with life, how life communicates with us, and also that key element of value and love. But if you're watching for a Taurus in your life, I hope you get something illuminating out of this as well. So first, I'm going to be jumping in here to take a look at what you're bringing to the month, Taurus, what's going on around you in your environment. And then we'll be looking at a block, a challenge, and a block or a challenge, and what Spirit is recommending to do or where to focus in order to help overcome that challenge so that you can bring in an opportunity that wants to come in for you this month. So let's go ahead and see what's going on with you, Taurus. Okay. All right, we have the moon. All right, so that's the energy you're bringing in, which is one of lack of clarity. So you may be wrestling a little bit this month with kind of getting into that place of, can I walk this path on faith? Because for me, that's really what the moon speaks to. It speaks to feeling that calling, feeling that pull, kind of like how the moon can pull the tides, but feeling pulled towards something that's going to take you outside of a comfort zone, but the way is unclear. So there's always this question that kind of looms with the moon and that lack of clarity as to, can I hear the call and come up out of the water onto dry land, and can I walk this dark path on faith? That doesn't mean that it's dark in the way that it's bad. It means that it's just dark in that it's not illuminated fully for us yet. Okay, let's see, that didn't feel right. Let's see what's going on around you. What's going on in your environment? What does Taurus need to know about? King of Swords. Okay. So this is interesting that you are coming in with this lack of clarity, and the King of Swords in your environment can either speak to an individual who harnesses the energy of clarity, of that kind of clear-minded, cuts through all of the BS, as we could say it, and kind of just states the facts. Now, this could also just be an energy around you, that there is an energy of clarity, of the facts becoming clear this month, of somebody this would be the person that you'd go to where if you were kind of sitting in this questioning energy, you might go to a trusted friend or a mentor or someone who really, again, just really sees the facts for what they are and doesn't have a problem stating their opinion. But again, an opinion that is coming from a very well thought out perspective. So this could be like going to a trusted friend and you say, I've been feeling the call to do this, or I really want to achieve this. I kind of feel like I can't quite see my way forward or why I'm feeling this way. And this individual might sit down and just kind of, you might ask a bunch of questions as well, because that's the other thing about the King of Swords. He wants to get as much information as possible so he can give you the best information. This harnesses the energy of Aquarius, so you might have a strong Aquarian around you. Someone who can really just kind of say, okay, well, if you want to do this or you're feeling this, why are you feeling this? Or why would you want to do this? Or why do you not have clarity? And it might just in talking to this individual or being in an energy like that might help provide you with some element of clarity. Because when I'm looking at the recent past energy moving into the present, there's a feeling here of kind of facing a little bit of chaos or a little bit of the energy of change with the Five of Wands. This can kind of be, sometimes it can be the energy of too many cooks in the kitchen. Everybody's trying to come together with what they're passionate about, or their opinion or how they want to choose to take action. But this can also be to where it can be seen as healthy competition, where everybody's getting into the ring with their stick and they're going to see how their stick holds up to everybody else's stick. But with the Seven of Cups coming in, there's this feeling of a little bit of not knowing a path to choose, not being able to clearly see, this is my cup. This is what's going to fulfill me on an emotional level. This is who I am. Because sometimes cups can really speak to our own soul, that we each have our own cup, our own spirit lies within that, our own unique needs, hopes, dreams, and that's our direct connection to the realm of spirit. But when we're lost in the illusion that we don't know what is actually in our cup, we don't know what's going to fulfill us. We don't know if I choose this path or that path, is that more in alignment with me? So there seems to be a little bit of maybe some chaos in your life around this lack of decision, or you might be going out there to test the waters with a skill set and you're not quite sure how this is going to apply to something. Because with the Emperor coming in as your present energy this month, this is the energy of Aries. It harnesses the energy of Aries and actually your energy, Taurus, as well. So it's a good energy to be sitting in right now in Aries season, because we are entering into the first sign of the Zodiac, and it is a time to really take a look at what is our relationship to authority, and what is our relationship to authority and how it affects our ability to express from that deep I am place. Who are you? And are you allowed to express that? Or are the Emperor can be kind of there's two sides to the Emperor. This can be someone in your life who is taking that, you could see it as someone taking the authority from you, or you could see it as, I'm the Emperor, I'm the authority in my life. So there's a little bit of this, I feel like disillusionment or illusion around here, not kind of knowing what to pick, a little bit of a chaotic environment. And suddenly here comes this authority energy of, okay, are you going to kind of step up and take the lead, or are you going to let somebody else come in and kind of say like let's put a kibosh on this and let's start to clear the way? Because this individual here, this King of Swords, could be related to the Emperor. This could be somebody who comes in and says, let's make a business plan, or let's get our family unit in sync, something along those lines. And it might actually, again, really be able to start to provide this clarity around something that you've been maybe wrestling with for some time. So let's go ahead here. I'm going to pull additional cards now to take a look at where the block lies, or the challenge. And then we'll look at, again, the advice from Spirit as to what to focus on to help you really overcome this block. And then the opportunity that wants to come in for you this month. And then we'll pull additional clarifiers. We'll get really deep into some of the cards. And then I'll pull additional advice from Spirit through Oracle cards. So let's go ahead here and see. What does Taurus need to know for this month? So the Ten of Swords is your main block, your main challenge. The Ten of Swords is when we've been brought to our knees. It is, although difficult to face, it is also the wrap up of a major cycle where we have gone through all of the different swords. We are now at that point where we were brought to our knees, and now the only way to go from here is up and kind of onwards and upwards. And the beauty of going through this time period is that it's done at this point. And you are able to kind of come out of that with, as you can see, the ray of illumination, which is a new truth. The Ace of Swords the clarity actually, that you can see what you've learned in that cycle. And now you get to see a better, stronger version of yourself. Now, with the Six of Cups coming in here, with the Ten of Swords, there is a little bit of this return to the past, of a past time when you were at this point, wounding. Six of Cups is a return to the past. It can be making peace with the past. And this could be, for many of you, maybe a month where you get to forgive someone in your life. It could even be where you forgive yourself, where you really face that time period in your life and you look back and you bring forward the gift, because the Six of Cups can also speak to that, bringing forward the gift of this period of this moment in time, and really seeing what you learned about yourself, and maybe what you learned in relationship to authority in your life. Did you give up authority to someone else? This could be in a work environment. This could be in a romantic relationship. Now, with the Wheel of Fortune coming in at the heart of your reading, this is what Spirit is asking you to embrace. And coming in this position, for me, it states the time is now. Prince of Wands. I love it. This is the Knight of Wands in this deck. It speaks to going out there on the great spiritual adventure, meaning going out there to just try new things to see if you like them and to gain more experience through direct experience. We can all be on our spiritual paths where we can meditate and we can go within, have that, quiet reflection time. But then there's a period where we have to go out there and get hands-on, where we have to see if we can sit there and read all we want to about hang gliding or farming or writing a book. But until we actually sit down and start to do it, we're not going to know if we actually like it. So there is something here about saying there's a point where this month you might be faced again with possibly where a wound from the past comes up. I went through this difficult time, and it might show you again your relationship to authority, where you maybe didn't, again, you gave up your authority, you gave up your autonomy to someone or something in the past, and it created maybe a seed of doubt within you. Like, can I actually do this if I really put my mind to it? Is this gonna happen again? And I think what Spirit's asking you to embrace is the time is now to go out and start to explore. The time is now to go out and see if there is a lack of clarity around not knowing kind of maybe what your needs are or what that dream is. It might be that you need to really kind of look at your life and say, well, I have to go out there to find that. And I need to stand strong in that. I need to really be able to free myself to go out there and explore, to feed the inner adventurer. Okay, because then we have the Empress clarified by the Four of Swords, the Hanged Man, and the Queen of Swords. Okay, so there's quite a little story going on here. The Empress is a beautiful energy. This is the energy of, ultimately, it harnesses the energy of each of our own individual creativity, what we have the power to create in our lives. It's the energy of Libra and Taurus. So it is one of your cards, Taurus, in the tarot. It harnesses the energy of Venus. Venus is all about what we value. It's about enjoying kind of the earthly pleasures. It is the energy of love as well, but it's also the feminine archetype of being able to give birth to something. Now, with the Four of Swords, the Hanged Man, and the Queen of Swords, there is a reflection going on here. The Four of Swords is a time where we pause, where we go within, and we really look at the wounds of the past, and we find our truth within them, meaning that we look at where, again, someone might have told us outside of ourselves that we weren't great at something, or when we tried to do something, we failed, and so we adopted this false truth of, well, every time I try that, I will fail, or I am a failure, or I am not good at something because someone told me I'm not, or that I'm not lovable because, my romantic partner left me. There's something here around being able to have that point of reflection to say, wait a second, where's my wounding around me being able to give birth, or a wounding around my own creativity? With the Hanged Man, there's a change in perspective. And that change in perspective is where we realize that maybe we had to sacrifice something, but it was for our greater benefit. And how can I give an example of this? This might be where maybe we had to sacrifice time in a relationship that didn't serve for years and years and years. And now we look back at where we are and who we are, and we realize that even though we might have sacrificed that time, the reward was that we are much stronger now in who we are, the knowledge of who we are, and how we handle ourselves in romantic relationships. It was a training period, a testing ground kind of thing. The Queen of Swords comes in. She knows her story. She states it very clearly. She's someone who knows all of the things she's gone through, all of the lessons she's learned, and she knows the person she is. This is the individual that when you ask somebody that you've newly met, like, what is your story? It's someone who can very clearly state that and state it in a way that is empowered. That is when the Queen of Swords is in her highest state. She's coming from an empowered place of, this is what I've done, this is what I've overcome, this is now, a perceived weakness has now become my greatest strength. And there might be something in here around that maybe there's an element now with you facing your ability to kind of create what you want. And I love that there's a lot of synchronicity going on here between divine feminine and masculine. You have the Emperor and the Empress. You have the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. There's something here around it. I know it was kind of happening before, I think, in some of your past readings, but there's an element here of really being able to come to this beautiful place of balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And it's hard, Taurus, and I don't know your individual birth chart, but when we have Taurus in our chart as a main placement, we are harnessing a lot of that Venusian divine feminine archetype within us. So we work a lot with the divine feminine. And often what can happen is that part of us sometimes can be where we focus so much on so much on receiving, so much on being the helping hand, being the person who takes care of everybody else, that we then let the other part to ourselves, the Emperor, the part that wants to initiate, the part that wants to move forward, the part that wants to take the lead. We can let that part of ourselves almost atrophy, where we're not using it enough. And that can actually cause some very interesting authority dynamics where we could end up becoming more passive aggressive, where we let people take autonomy or take authority away from us, but then we kind of act out in almost like a childlike manner because we become frustrated. Like, why do they have the say? Why do they have control over this? And it's because unknowingly we've in some way given it to them because we've kind of fallen back on our own wheelhouse of working with the feminine energy. And so now there's like this beautiful period of almost like, there's nothing coming in here as far as like justice or rebalancing. But with the Wheel of Fortune, I kind of feel like this is the balancing point here between what was, where you gave away your authority, or maybe your wounded relationship with authority figures in your life. This could even be a parent, a father, or a mother. This could be, again, a work dynamic where maybe you were always working for bosses that were maybe emotionally abusive, where they were maybe not giving you the kudos. They never told you did a good job. They maybe were always kind of almost like the, person whipping the horse to a certain extent, because Taurus, at some point, I know this because I am a sun sign Taurus, we can all get to that place where we allow someone to hook up their cart to our shoulders and we're willing to kind of just keep going one step in front of the other, And that might be kind of what you're facing here, where maybe there was a lack of clarity even around how this happened. But there's a realization now, I think, for many of you, where you're like, you know what, I can bring both sides into alignment. And maybe there was a wounding around the Empress, the creative aspect of you. Maybe you hid that part because of the issues with other people taking the authority in your life. And now there's this moment of where you can step up into that authoritative power, but doing so from a non-wounded feminine place, meaning from the feminine place of just literally creating what only you can create. And there's a healing going on around this, but it's hard for us to be able to create when we don't know what we really enjoy, when we don't give ourselves that ability to kind of feed the fire of our own creativity. And I think that there's a freedom around this That for many of you this month, it's going to be about kind of maybe hearing it's going to even be like where you want to hear the truth about something that happened in your life. This could be like where you go to even a therapist and you're like, look, I keep finding myself in this dynamic between me and, my workplace, or I keep finding myself in a dynamic between me and my parents, or me and my significant other. And this could be where somebody just very clearly states, you know what, this is the patterning, and this is how you can get back into really honoring your own creative energy, getting back into being the authority in your life, but through an empowered feminine creativity. And I see it's very, I was going to say, it's definitely very beneficial for you to get back into that energy. And then here we have the Hierophant at the bottom of the deck here, which also is your card in the tarot, which is the High Priest. This is the individual who really can see the way forward, is someone who can actually build new structures to facilitate and support the vision for the future that he has. It's also someone who can be of service to others by giving very sage advice. But it's also where we have to take a look at our own structures in our own life and what might not be supportive. What have we decided to follow? What have we decided to what are the rules we've told ourselves we have to do? And that could be where part of this, the Emperor's coming in here, where we might have said, I've followed my family's rules. And you know what? It didn't allow me to be free. I followed my romantic partner's rules, or the rules of how I needed to behave in that partnership. What I was told the role I had to fill. But now I'm realizing I can fulfill a different role, because that when I tried to do it their way, it brought me to this. It brought me to my knees. So there's almost like this kind of looking at expanding, breaking the rules, realizing that whatever someone else has told you probably for quite some time, and this could even be how you view making money. This could be how someone, maybe other people in your life, bosses, or just, again, mentor figures, teachers, people like that who told you, you can make the most money doing it like this, or you have to have a 9-to-5. There's certain things that kind of come into our experience the older we get, and we kind of just start to, say, well, this is just the way it has to be. This is what I have to do. This is the way I make money. And it's saying every single individual's life is different. And we're getting to a time where, societal norms are starting to really be torn down. Even religious norms are starting to be questioned. And there is something here around that, kind of questioning that within your own life of, if I see a new way for myself, then what has to change in my current experience? What rules do I need to realize don't apply to me? And to not sit here and kind of have to fight against those rules, to just say, I can change the rules. If I want to not work at a 9-to-5 and I want to have my own business, well, I'm going to focus on starting my own business. But doing so from a place of bringing forward what I uniquely have to bring forward. And doing so from this feeling of fun, from this feeling of I'm doing it simply because it feels good, not because someone told me I had to. There's a little bit of that coming through here. Okay, I'm going to pull some clarifiers. So we're going to get deeper into this Ten of Swords to see what's going on around this wounding, what happened at this time here. Let's see. What does Taurus need to know about the Ten of Swords? Oh, there's the Hierophant again and the Six of Coins. Yeah, there's something here where it could have been around. So the Hierophant can also speak to, because it does speak to the things we choose to follow and subscribe to or commit to. This can represent a commitment. It could represent a commitment, let's say a marriage commitment, something along those lines, where the Six of Coins, there might not have been that return on the investment. That's what the Six of Coins does speak to, though. It does speak to what we put in. That energy will be returned to us, but it might be returned to us later on down the road, or in a way that we weren't initially expecting. And so this wounding is around a commitment that didn't ultimately reap what you put in. Now, probably what you're going to be experiencing is that now you have a time period, of maybe intense creativity that's going to actually bring this reward that was denied here forward, but we'll see what happens. Okay, let's see about the Six of Cups. Okay, so we have the Nine of Wands. Yeah, there's a card of burnout. It's a card of having to go quite a ways, maybe feeling that you had to do it on your own. So this could be making peace with the past version of yourself where you were constantly burning yourself out, where you were working hard for other people. Yeah, and here's the Ten of Wands, finally putting down the burden of feeling that you have to do it all yourself. And this literally could be making peace with the past version of yourself who did this. And maybe that was the cycle of, I'll just work harder. I'll just do it all myself. I'm not going to ask for help. I'm going to just, I committed to it. I said I was going to do the job and I'm going to do it. and then at one point there was this realization of, but I'm not actually, I committed, but I'm not actually getting that return on my investment, or I don't feel like they're honoring my value. And I think this is that point where it's time to finally realize that about maybe there's an aspect of your life. Now, this could be in the work world. This could be even at home, where maybe you felt like I have to do everything myself. And it's saying it's time that the cycle it's time to have that come to a close. Because Wheel of Fortune, Nine of Cups, and Six of Wands, that is very, very potent energy right here. Nine of Cups, having so much to be proud of, so much. There's a massive level of emotional fulfillment coming in here. And the Six of Wands is recognition. That is others seeing you, celebrating how much you have to be grateful for, the wealth that you have literally on an emotional level, that you can sit there and just be proud as punch for what you have. But it's saying here with the Wheel of Fortune that it's there, you have this right now. The time is now for this. The time is now to really express what you have, express for others to see. And many others, I think, are seeing you in this light. You, I think, might just be, unfortunately, a little, I'm not going to say stuck in the past, because we all have to review past versions of ourselves or what we've gone through to glean those lessons, to really have that clarity of, aha, I see the cycle. I see I see where the common denominator is me, if that makes sense. And now there's this realization of, oh my gosh, I have a lot and I'm ready to maybe share it. Maybe for some of you, this could have even been a fear of maybe sharing your good fortune at this point for others to see, because of what happened in the past, because you were afraid that somebody might come in and try to, again, take authority from you. Or, let's see here. Yeah, Two of Cups. Yeah, there's a feeling here of maybe kind of pulling back a little bit on your intimate connections with others. The Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is that intimate connection. It is, it can denote a partnership, whether romantic or platonic, but it's one in which the two people come together equally and are vulnerable. And with the Knight of Wands coming in there, I think this is saying it's time to go out there and start networking. It's time to go out there and start finding those people who are supportive of you, are supportive of what you have right now, the wealth of what you have, and where you can share yourself just openly, where others celebrate who you are, and where maybe at one point you kind of cut yourself off from sharing with others or from connecting with others because of the wounding, or because whatever was going on here was draining your energy, literally. This can be where we were just so focused on getting through the day-to-day and our commitments, we weren't actually going out there and authentically connecting with others because we just didn't have the energy. And this is saying, yeah, there's the Tower. This is saying if you can, I think, really make peace with something either right now, I mean, for some of you, this might not be in the past. For some of you, this might be actually what you're facing now. Time is relative to each one of us. That's why we have to take what resonates. Now, if you're going through this right now, where there is a commitment, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a commitment to a job contract, whether it's a commitment even to a family, meaning even maybe taking care of your parents or something along those lines, there is a return on an investment that does not feel fair to you, that feels like it is draining, that feels like you're doing it all alone. And if you can get past that, if you can, is this something where you might have to walk away from a job, or you might have to walk away from, with the King of Swords, this might be actually talking to a lawyer, talking to, again, a counselor, somebody like that who might be helping you kind of put things in place, put things in perspective. Again, right here, the Hanged Man, a change in perspective, that this might allow you to better see how your personal energy could be better served in leaving this scenario. Because with the Tower coming in here, this is that transformation of something coming down in your life that you've kind of walled yourself up within. And it is around, I think, it has been disconnecting you from authentically connecting with others. So keep that in mind, that the walls need to come down around intimate connection, around sharing your authentic self and sharing how much you have to be grateful for right now. So for the Empress, we have the Hermit, the Sun, and the Lovers. Wow. Bottom of the deck, 5 of Coins. Yeah, it's getting past this feeling that if I truly am myself, or if I truly walk away from whatever this is, or if this was, there's still this element of getting past a limiting mindset or a belief that you're not good enough. That could also be it too, that maybe this is why you were overworking yourself, because you're like, I'm going to prove it. I'm going to do better. I'm going to be the one that stays late and comes early. And ultimately, it's because of this, because there's a self-worth issue here. It's saying you think you're not good enough. You think others might turn their back on you if you don't perform at this level. And it's saying, it's time to heal that. It's time to see how much you have to be grateful for, how much other people probably from the outside are celebrating what you have. It's time to share it from an authentic place. And with the Hermit, the Sun, and the Lovers, oh my gosh, this is illumination of the self, illumination of who you are and how you shine it out there. And with the Lovers is the highest level of connection between what we love, being able to share ourselves vulnerably with another individual. It's choosing what we love. It's choosing to surround ourselves with love. But there is a true self-illumination coming through of the realization that when we love ourselves and we honor our own value and we honor our own set of rules that supports who we are, that there will always be people in our life who will support that. I'm not going to say no one, because actually that's not true from my personal experience, but most people do not want to see another individual that they love struggle, another individual that they love feel frustrated and burdened. Whether it's a friend, whether it's a coworker, whether it's your romantic partner, most people want to see that the individual they care for, they want to see them free. They want to see them be able to be the Knight of Wands, going out there and doing what feels good. There's a lot of issue here, Taurus, around self-worth, around what you are worth. And it's not based on you putting in all this crazy energy and effort to where you're burned out just so that you're hoping someone else will see your worth. This is stating you have intrinsic value in who you are and what you can create and what you bring to the situation. The Hermit, who are you as an individual and how can you shine that light in every circumstance? Illumination of your truest self, the freest version, that inner naked child that wants to come out and be seen. The Lovers, that there is love around you, that the people will always support who you are, but it's also maybe seeing what you love. And what you love is showing you what you have the ability to continue to create from. But this all hinges around kind of, I think, getting rid of this focus on I have to do it all or else I'm not lovable, or I have to do it all because this is what society told me I have to do. You know, this is like that mindset of we live in the rat race world, and I was told that I have to work 60 to 80 hours a week for X amount of time, because if I don't, I will never make enough money to be happy. And it's like, well, are you happy now? You know, did that make you happy following that? Or the same thing, let's say, where this is like carrying the entire load of all the work in the home environment or in a relationship. And it's like, you know, everybody told you had to fulfill this specific role. You have to get married. You have to do it this way. You have to, you know, be the one that takes care of the home, or the other way around. You're the one that has to work to take care of, you know, the other individual in the house. And it's like, well, how did that work out for you? You know, if it burned you out and it didn't end up, you know, giving you that return on the investment, then it's time to realize that maybe it's time to do it your own way now. And that you have a lot to be grateful for. The time is now. This may even be kind of, this is saying that there might be, you have a lot to be proud of, almost like it's time to show it off, because that might actually attract to you a potential new partner or someone else that you're now freed to interact with that might help you shine the light on your creativity. And it could actually be a new love interest, but it could also just be someone who is on that intimate level where it does illuminate your own creativity, your own ability to shine truly as you were meant to. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull a energy oracle card here from Spirit to see what's kind of the overarching energy for the month of April. What does Taurus need to know about the overarching energy for the month of April? What does Taurus need to know? Normally these come out a little faster. Let's see. Oh, there we go. It's that one. Oh, I love it. Appreciation. Yeah, that's right here. That's the 9 of Cups. Gratitude for all that you have. And this card, you know, I love it in its depiction because it shows an individual basically surrounded by what looks kind of like dead and dying bushes. But yeah, there's like this little outcrop here of blooms, and she's holding the one bloom in her hand. And it's almost like out of all the things that didn't work, she's able to appreciate what did. She's able to appreciate the lesson learned in this experience. So whether you're going through this burnout stage now, or whether you've gone through it in the past and you're kind of readdressing it now currently, this is saying have appreciation for that. Have appreciation for the realization of your own self-worth. And be proud to show it off. Be proud to show what you've come, you know, and having to kind of go through this. It's almost like she had to kind of walk through this dead brambly bush to finally get to this point of, I can see the beauty in this. And even if I'm the only one that can see the beauty in what I'm worth and how far I've come and what I've reaped because of that, well, I'm going to show it. And I'm going to live from this place. I love this card for you. Now, the card, number 15, breaks down to the number 6 in numerology, and that is the energy of love. It is the energy of, also for me, working with that number, it is the energy of what we can manifest in the physical when we come from the energy of love, gratitude, and appreciation. Let's see what... 8 of Cups, yeah. Appreciation, you had to walk, 8 of Cups is walking away from something. And this walking away from something, you put a lot of emotional investment in. But there's a level of appreciating why you have to walk away from that, because you had to honor yourself, your value. And that could be you having to walk away from something now. You know, this could be where you're realizing, like, this is me. And I'm sorry if no one else can recognize it here, but I have to walk towards what does honor my value, what does also honor my cup, because she walks from the 8 of Cups with the understanding that she's holding one cup, and she's walking towards the 10th cup. So she's holding the 9th cup. She's walking towards the 10th cup, which is direct connection to the happy family card, to complete heart's emotional fulfillment in this experience. And that cup comes when we connect what didn't work with ourselves, the needs we knew that weren't met here, we know will be met someplace else. We walk away on faith. And there's that feeling of faith coming in here again. Walking away from it no longer serves us here, but with faith, we know there'll be something out here that does. And that's what brings in justice. That's what brings the scales into balance. And that could be a new balanced relationship because you've had to go through this, whether this is a relationship in love or whether this is a relationship in work or in a family dynamic. But it's understanding and appreciating why you have to, that in honoring your own value to walk away from something, you're walking towards the balance of, again, the masculine, the emperor, I am the authority in my life, and the empress, I can create what I want in my life. Okay, now I'm going to pull Power of Surrender card here. So let's see what Taurus needs to know for that, and then we'll wrap up the reading. So let's see, what does Taurus need to know about where they can surrender? Ooh, oh, I love it. Surrender to the magic of who you are. Well, that couldn't sum up this reading any better. It says, we all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with a uniqueness and worth that come from just being you. That's it. That's it, Taurus. You are enough. If there's one thing that you can say this month, every morning as you look at yourself in the mirror, I am enough. I am worth more than just having to be the workhorse. And I look forward to connecting with others who see my worth. All right, I will leave it there. Taurus, I hope you all have a wonderfully empowering and hopefully creative month ahead. I will be posting weekly tarot bite readings starting not next week because I'll be on vacation. I'm visiting family back in Southern California, but starting with the following week in April. So if you're interested in just getting little weekly energy reads, just looking at the energies for the week ahead, you can keep your eye out for those. Otherwise, I will see you back here next month for May's Illumination reading. Bye, Taurus.